apart from infrastructure is key, but when you bring other African youths or young people together and creators, as you call them in fintech world, we call them creators because they create themes, and whether in laboratory and whatever it is. Do you think Nigerians can and are we competing favorably with folks from Ghana, from Rwanda, from Kenya, from Egypt, from Ethiopia, from South Africa?
I think we are. I've attended a lot of fintech conferences, a lot of fintech summits all over the world, in Europe, in the US, in Asia, and I see Nigerians competing in their startup challenges. I see Nigerians even winning some of these startup challenges. Even within Africa, the Sweet Conference where I spoke in April last year was a Nigerian that won the startup challenge, the competition that was done. We went to Ethiopia again. You see Nigerians competing favorably. So you see Nigerian young people everywhere trying to compete with the best of the best, in the world. We are blessed with very, very bright people. We only need to harness those resources, and we cannot wait for government alone, like I said earlier on. Institutions, and unfortunately, it is the foreign institutions that are coming to Nigeria to come and identify these challenges. The local institutions are not doing as much as we believe they should to support these young people, to create the environment for them to be able to, showcase their creativity, and to provide funding in the different stages of funding requirement to be able to move on.
That's very important. Money is important, so they need money. The startups need money. Yes, so we have about 2 dozens of Nigeria. Has the government identified with these folks? Are the banking sector folks, your colleagues, new colleagues on Broad Street, are they interested in these guys? Give them the necessary funding. At what interest rate will you be looking at?
Yes.
What tenor, for example?
Well, I know the banks every bank now have a digital strategy. I expect any forward-looking bank today to have digital strategy. How do we collaborate with these enablers? I don't call them, of course, they are disrupting the industry in terms of creating new things, changing the old ways of doing things. But banks are expected to see them as partners, as collaborators, and work together with them to be able to ensure that they bring the ideas to light. And from there, either partner with them to use those services or buy them over, if they can, or integrate them into their system. A lot of banks are doing that. A lot of banks have their own fintech labs. We are the innovation lab. With terms of funding, I'm not sure the kind of interest rate that banks charge today will be very supportive of encouraging this, and that's why it's only foreign countries that are really heavily coming in with grants. It's not even loans, grants and investments are not loan. They cannot thrive on loan. They can thrive on investment. So that if you give them money, with personal experience, I've done that. In various companies, two of which have been outstanding, putting in little amount of seed money and helping them to grow, share their board, provide guidance and direction. And today, those companies are big companies employing. One is employing about 100 people from zero level 11 years ago. Another was employing about 140 people from just 3 people in 2008 when we went in with our funding. So individuals, corporate organizations can really help in growing this. We should also have beneficial effect on their society.
Specifically, what would you want the Ministry of Science and Technology to do? Because it's basically a science and tech business.
Yes. Well, incidentally, the Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonaya, very wonderful man, has accepted to provide the opening keynote address at the conference of the 25th.
We know government officials do talk, but we want action. So in your private discussions, what action would you want to see?
Well,
you are the president.
Yeah, I know.
In Nigeria.
And that's why
look up to you.
And that's why we have engaged them, and we are going to continue to engage. So part of the engagement is inviting him to this conference so that they can have the feel of what's going on. Can have the feel of the operators, the players, the startups.
He's the minister. He ought to have the feel already.
Yes,
if he's the minister.
And apart from
that's why he's appointed.
And apart from that, he has agencies under him, that also involved that, and all of them have been invited to also come and play a role. So we want to see the minister, the government providing the enabling environment, the so-called enabling environment that encourages people to be creative, enabling environment that ensures that we challenge our young ones, we challenge people with creative mind to come up with innovation, and then reward those innovation and make use of. And that effort should be sincere. That should be sincere. It's not, like I said, it should not be about talk. We should have a roadmap which should be designed together by the government and the players in that industry. Because if the government just drawing a roadmap and just throwing it on the system,
I'm interested in a roadmap that has timelines, action lines, and money backing it up.
Yes.
From the government side.
Yes.
Is that what Dr. Bunayanu, is that what you want to hear from him?
Yes.
Is that what everybody
wants the government roadmap, and now they want to support and collaborate and support the growing fintech industry to be able to contribute to the national economy, to be able to replace oil earnings with technology earnings, income from technology that can change and transform our economy. I mentioned reference to UAE earlier on. UAE today is thinking ahead, far ahead. By the year 2117, 100 years' time, they are thinking of having 600,000 people living in mass. They want to move 600,000 people using artificial technology and all that. They're already thinking 100 years ahead and telling us today, the guy that is talking about is not going to be around in 100 years. But that is the dream. Where they will get there or not. So we need that roadmap from all parties, stakeholders. We will continue to have a stakeholder engagement with government, with regulators, with players, because no one institution, and that is what I brought together the FINTECH Association of Nigeria, where we have incredible companies, banks, technology companies, startups, incumbent companies, and so on and so forth, law firms, international consulting firms like Pt.2, Deloitte, our own members, CCO, System Spec, EcoBank, Stanbic IBTC. All of us are working together from different sectors to be able to identify the issues, to be able to advocate, to be able to network, and to be able to engage and work together towards developing something. And our first something is to make Africa the fintech leader and to actually ensure the contribution of technology, grow to support the Nigerian economy.
On a final note, we're doing about $200 million.
We did about 200 million. We are expecting that. By the time we see the 2017 report, I'm sure it will be far, more than that.
200 million out of $20 billion is still a scratch. But okay. So where do you see Nigeria in terms of what should be our real share of this money? $20 billion. If you look at the population and what we need to do to grow the economy diversified across all sectors.
Yeah. The way we are going, for instance, out of the 200 million is part of $800 million dollars that actually came into Africa. So, so 200, okay. Nigeria is about just a quarter. But we want to see a lot more share of this money coming to Nigeria. And from what has happened in 2017, for some of the new angel investors, some of the new private equity firms coming into Nigeria, setting up shops in Nigeria, some just coming in and putting in money. And what we haven't seen that going to happen in 2018, we see a lot of tremendous, and I don't see why Nigeria should not be getting more than 40% of the funding that is coming to the entire Africa.
Okay, I like that. I'm just going to be watching the money and be watching you as well. So thank you very much for speaking with us here on Business Morning, Dr. Olusegun Aina, OFR, President of the FinTech Association of Nigeria and former President of the Chartered Institute. Former President of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. Let's come back after the break. The herdsmen and the farmers' clash will have serious consequences for Nigeria's food sustainability. Let's start the conversation right after the break.